I'm gonna change into my wetsuit. Oh, that only works on TikTok. Welcome back to another video. This one's a little bit different. Would appreciate your opinions in the comments on what you think about us doing this, but we're gonna do some review videos. At the end of the day, we are avid surfers. Our life is revolved around surfing. We surf any day there's waves, and we get the chance to try lots and lots of different products. Boards, fins, wetsuits, towels, robies, bags to carry our stuff, earplugs, vans to transport us to the waves, tents, anything to do with surfing, we live it, so we try it. We want to give you as unbiased opinions to what we think's worth buying as we can. So, the first review video we're going to do is wetsuits. We're going to go and do a review video, and we're going to do it in only the way that we can, which is make it up as we go along. First thing we thought we were going to do is talk about how we would judge the value of a wetsuit, whittle it down, maybe do a point system and what the best wetsuit in the world is. What are the categories for judging a wetsuit? Flex. Oh no, I've just realised I have to spell ability. Durability.
Durability.
Price. Fit. Sustainability. I'm doing a lot of abilities at the end, so hopefully that's spelt right. There's lots of I's. Is that right? Availability. That's important to everyone, but there's going to be things that are more important to others. Like, so for example, Joan, as a competitive surfer, you get free wetsuits, don't you? Yep, so doesn't care about price. He probably wants flexibility, and you did say durability as well, didn't you?
So yeah.
Yeah, like not have to change your wetsuit every 5 minutes. Then like Tom is got a mullet and is a hippie, so he cares about sustainability. Oh, we forgot one. What have we forgotten about a wetsuit? What's the key purpose of a wetsuit?
Whoa.
Yeah. This is not important anymore. So if that was important to you, watch another video. I am a warmth guy and a flexibility guy. We're not gonna lie, we all get discounts and have mates in the surf industry, so we can get cheaper wetsuits than off-the-shelf prices. But other than Joan, who's openly gonna admit he's got an affiliation to a wetsuit brand, I don't, Tom doesn't, we don't have sponsorship deals, we just have mates from a few different brands, wetsuit brands. The ones I wanna talk about, is this working if I graph it? Yeah, but I know, like, it's just like, sorry about this. Rip Curl. How'd you spell O'Neill? O'Neill, because they invented wetsuits. And we give them 2 points at the start for inventing wetsuits. Patagonia, Snug. How would you spell Finisterre? If you write it really scribbly, it looks like you spell it right.
You haven't got a total column at the
Like, what am I scoring it out of? Let's just write words.
60 each one out of 10.
Out of 10,
Okay.
that's the total max score is 60.
Flexibility, to me, I think O'Neill and Rip Curl, like, you can't really beat them, can you?
Yeah, I've never had a better one for flexibility than the O'Neill.
Nah, I've never had a better one for flexibility than the Rip Curl ones. For the purposes of this video, we'll talk about winter wetsuits because a good summer suit is important, but the warmth element of it isn't that much because the water's a lot warmer in the UK, so we'll talk about winter wetsuits. All right, let's pick out all the 10s. Durability.
Seaskins is what?
Seaskins, you're saying seaskins?
Yeah, man, for sure. One of the keys for me for wanting to do this whole video is because like Seaskins is a British brand, like offices just down the road. I've had this one for 2 seasons and I can use that again. So I duck dive on my knee when I'm lazy. There's no internal wear. There might be slight external wear.
The all-important crutch thing?
Fine. Yeah. Sweet. Like literally, not one leak. Wow. So yeah, Seaskins 10 for sure. Durability.
Winter wetsuit a season?
At least, yeah. Do you not? I've always been on Rip Curl and they don't last. They last a season, but by the end of the season, there's leaks and there's tears.
Snug, I reckon you've got to go up there with.
Yes.
I've had friends that have had them for like 4 years.
They last and they do like a repair service, which adds to the kind of like durability.
And sustainability then. So durability on Snug 9 for sure. Yeah, we'll pick them out. We'll fill in the gaps as we go. Price. It's got to be Seaskins. Go on, have a little look on Google.
I think Seaskins is pretty competitive, like they're all around the same. Rip Curl, boom, you've got like a whole other price level.
Fucking hell. Patagonia are worse than Rip Curl, aren't they? O'Neill doesn't get a 10. But it's okay, it's Patagonia, we know.
Finisterre, I think, have dropped their prices.
Go and check Finisterre then. Can we give them some love?
345 for their full-on winter 5, that seems really cheap.
Okay.
So actually I think Finisterre is cheapest at the moment.
I'm going to put a 9.
In Seaskins.
And an 8 there.
Yeah, 5.
Well, it's the worst. 1.
No, because 1 would be like, you can't afford it. It's just like
Okay,
£1,000
unattainable.
suit.
And there probably is a Chanel wetsuit out there that's rubbish and expensive. All right, fair. 5. Rip curl.
7. I think actually if you look at the cheaper
I'm gonna go
ones, they're still
6.5.
probably- There you go.
I'm gonna go 6.5.
We're only 8 points into it.
I don't know. And snug. I know from memory they're about the same. They're similar to these lot. Website's down, so they're going to score badly somewhere. Fit. This is subjective, is it not? So would you say a custom wetsuit has to be the best fit?
Yeah, I'll be honest though, I've never really struggled too much with fit.
I mean, I do have a slight struggle, but I've worked out how to negate that struggle. I am thick, but short.
Winning combo.
You know, I know. I should have been a basketball player.
Yeah.
What I normally do is I get a medium and it's kind of tight for a few days and then I stretch into it. And if I get medium tools on any of them, the limbs are too long. But there is a new size that have come out in these and these. The most comfortable wetsuit I have kind of tends to be the most flexible wetsuit I've had as well. So like kind of put these lot like relatively similar. Like the Seaskins one for me fits really, really nicely. And why I really like Seaskins one is because of the hood. I've got surfer's ear. The Seaskins hood is designed to fit a head really, really well. It isn't just like a lumped on after product. So I've got dry hair when I come out the sea, when I've got hair. And I don't have to put my earplugs in. So that's a massive fit for me.
The Rip Curl, for me, the most important thing, they have cop pouch seamage.
That's good.
That's the best.
For gentlemen, well-endowed gentlemen.
Doesn't matter, you can have a micro penis and you still need a cop pouch, basically. O'Neill was probably the most comfortable. Patagonia and Finisterre do not have a cop pouch. They have a seam that just goes straight across where your manhood is. You get it
Hideous.
wrong and you push off, or you're left with stars and feeling sick, basically.
I'm going to score Patagonia and Finisterre the same so they don't argue with each other about who's got the smallest beanies. Rip Curl, yeah, they're really comfy as well. No one's going to get a 10 because there's always room for
I
improvement.
thought snug.
10.
Custom.
No one else apart from custom wetsuits is going to get a 10. Yeah, if you're buying a wetsuit off the shelf, at the end of the day, it's not fitted for you. You're going to have to try and buy right. So that comes down to surf shops and people helping you buy them. Sustainability, contentious. I'm not a massive fan of thinking about it in terms of why I would buy a wetsuit. I like the pleasure of knowing that something that I've bought is also more sustainable than something I haven't bought.
Down,
Yeah.
the most sustainable thing you can have in a wetsuit is the most durable one. Like regardless of what the neoprene is. You've got a wetsuit that lasts you 1 season before it's like leaking like a mofo, as opposed to a wetsuit that lasts you 2-3 seasons. That's like a massive reduction in impact.
What about locally made?
They're still ordering all the neoprene from like all the weight, all the mass of the product, shipping it around the world is coming from Japan and what have you.
Fair. What about natural rubber?
So this is it. All of them I think offer now like natural rubbers in one form or another. Like I don't think there's one that doesn't in that respect.
No, I think Seaskins were the first to really launch with it as marketing, but I did notice that Billabong are doing it.
O'Neill are definitely doing it. Patagonia and Finisterre been doing it the longest.
The leaders, yeah.
And they don't have anything other than that in their range. And whereas I think all the others offer normal petroleum-derived neoprenes as well as natural rubbers or limestone-derived.
So sustainability for you comes down to durability.
Absolutely.
Okay, right, so Rip Curl durability, I'm going to have to go 5. Sorry to do this to you, Joan, but my son had an O'Neill wetsuit, a winter wetsuit, and it was amazingly warm. It fitted really well, was super, super flexible, and it allowed him to surf in the winter, which I think is really important for a kid, because if you get a kid a stiff wetsuit, they don't like getting it on or off. They kind of don't enjoy their surf, so it's really important flexibility to a kid. So O'Neill, it was a good suit, but it lasted 3 months. And when I say a couple of leaks, every single seam gone. And it fitted him fine. It was just, it had perished.
And I think it's...
Do you have, well, we can't ask him.
We can't ask him.
How good's the flexibility on O'Neill's though?
Great. Absolutely.
I would say that, like, we talked about 5-10 years ago, I had like an O'Neill Psycho 2, which lasted me 2-3 seasons. It was the most durable suit I'd ever had, but it wasn't as flexible as the latest ones. But the seams and the rubber seemed to just both have the same level of flexibility. They worked harmoniously. I had very little leaks. And this is like, you know, surfing sometimes 7 days in a row through the winter.
I just remember that I surfed an O'Neill wetsuit, a summer suit, all winter, and it was fine. It was a while ago. I feel like you know what O'Neill have done is they've gone so far into warmth and flexibility that they've forgotten about durability. It's the expenditure, because no suit can be perfect. That's why I really like Seaskins, because they're just solid in every department. Yeah. So some of the top of the range for flexibility might let you down slightly on durability.
Wait. Let's just ask Joan it doesn't have to give an opinion.
Okay.
Just an objective question.
How about this? How many winter wetsuits do you think you need from your wetsuit sponsor in order to have a very comfortable winter surfing a lot in the UK?
Well, I wasn't actually here this winter.
Yeah, no, it doesn't count.
But I would say To get through a winter season for me, I'd have 2. After one season's use, a suit for me starts to leak, but it'd go to my second suit. I'd still use it, but maybe not in the depth of winter.
Yeah, so your first one is always your new one that you put on, unless it's wet, and then you...
Exactly.
I mean, that's how I've always rotated
yeah,
wetsuits. I feel like I've been harsh on rip curl now as well.
Yeah, I've definitely used O'Neill suits for a whole season and then gone on to a second season.
And then they've started.
But they're my second suit then.
Do we agree with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Patagonia is supposed to be super durable. I've not had one. You've had one.
I've had 3. They were different weights. I got a 4.3, a 5.3, and a 3.2.
You score Patagonia then. I'm going to go all the way through. Flexibility.
7. Once they warm up and they mould you, they're quite good. Like they're quite comfy.
I do find that all wetsuits get them going a little bit. It's these ones where it's automatic. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this is a winter suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Durability. Wow.
7.
So for people who are still watching this is our review video. For those of you watching this who don't surf as often, we're talking about a season. If there's a 7-day week in the winter, we're probably surfing at least 4 of them on average. That's how often we're surfing, and we don't look after wetsuits. You know, they're sometimes left in a bucket in my van. On a rare occasion that I treat a wetsuit well, I'll drive home with it after a surf, I'll take it off in a warm shower, stand on it to kind of get some fresh water in it and soak, rinse it out, and then it will get slung outside over a wall.
Even the hot shower thing's supposed to be bad for it.
Oh, is it? Oh, God.
I think soap as well is quite bad for it.
Yeah. If they were here, they'd be like, well, you don't look after your suits, that's why your numbers are low. I think that that's the life of a surfer. If you've got something that you like and you want it to last longer, look after it. But we're talking from the point of view of the waves are on, we've got an hour, whatever's in the van.
You don't want to be precious.
Sustainability for Patagonia, I mean, they're always trying.
So they're the 10, they're the strong one, the
Yeah.
strongest one out of this. Like, because they're the original, the OG.
Yeah, and warmth.
There's some of the warmest suits I've tried. I'd go 9.
9, okay. Hey, do you know what's interesting? Has anyone had a suit that isn't warm for the last, like, 5 years?
Do you know what, when we said warmth, I almost said, do we need to? Because they're
all good.
They're all good. I would say durability affects warmth way more, because as soon as my seams start like letting too much water through, and likewise fit, like if you get loads of flushing, it's kind of...
Yeah. Right, I think I should do seaskins then, because I'm on like 4 or 5 suits in a row now. Sustainability, can I just say that they're up there because they're using natural rubber, and there's a little bit of patriotism here, but they're a British company just down the road from me, so...
What I would say is also, say like if you go to Rip Curl, they do their top range suit, and then they go, oh, and we do an eco suit on the side, whereas actually seaskins, their top suits are natural
Eco.
rubber. Yeah. So I think they kind of, it is what they are, their default.
They're so warm. I didn't ever go O'Neill and Rip Curl and go, they were cold. I just want to put them on a par with everything, really. No. We're talking, as well, guys, we're talking about top of the range or near to it. None of us are using the mid-range. In every single wetsuit brand, there's a structure from your base surf school entry-level wetsuit that you'll try if you go to a surf school, all the way to their absolute top spec. We're all buying the top specs, we're all getting the top specs and using them. So this is just an example, but the Seaskins entry-level wetsuit and the O'Neill entry-level wetsuit, all of this is going to be about the same. They're cheap. Yeah, they're not hard-wearing, are they? Because the seams are bad. Yeah, they leak, they're very stiff, which is the worst thing for us. They give you rub. So the experience with a wetsuit from someone who's done their surfing through lessons mainly, you're not getting the whole package. A top of the range wetsuit is far superior to a cheap wetsuit. It's night and day.
My girlfriend's been learning to surf this last year. She always looks at people in general when you surf in the winter and think you're absolutely mad, you're absolutely mental. I bought her, not right at the top, but the really solid ones, both Seaskins. She cannot believe, middle of the winter, how comfortable she is in the water. And everyone's like, you're crazy. She's like, oh, I get it now, you're not actually crazy at all. Like, you're comfortable.
Putting on a wet wetsuit is
the worst thing in the world.
So here's a tip. I've taught all my kids it as well.
Not the tumble brand.
No, you pretend you love it. You just go, oh yeah, this is great. Oh, icy wetsuit. Oh yeah, and you just sickly enjoy it. Rip Curl sustainability.
I think, like you're saying, durability, where they've gone for the hyper stretchy, like there's a level of failure. So I'd probably 5.
O'Neill?
6, just because there's obviously they're talking about it, the whole their blue range or what have you, like.
Yeah, well that's a 7 then, surely. That's got to be a clear couple of points away from someone who's not trying to do it.
Just because their durability is on the same, if they were a bit more durable, it just feels like chat if they're still falling apart.
Fair. Snug, custom made, buying in smaller quantities. Their raw materials aren't coming in huge amounts of bulk. There's not going to be loads of waste.
They offer a
repair service, yeah. I think it's 9.5. I think they can. The only thing that Patagonia beat Snug on is the scale.
Yeah.
Snug were making wetsuits before that guy was even surfing, probably. Sustainability for Finster. I had a Finisterre suit. It was so bad. I couldn't even get my hands and feet into the wetsuit without breaking it.
The first 4 or 5 surfs, I could feel the blood wasn't quite getting through to my head.
Yeah.
It definitely was my size.
But I couldn't even get my hands and feet into it.
That's more the rubber than the fit. Like, mine fits me fine now. I wear it.
Okay.
So 6 then.
Okay.
Flexibility. I would say lower on the flexibility. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Because they do
I
wear...
just feel horrible because I do actually like the brand and I do think that they do loads of cool stuff. So I'll give you a story. Their first ever wetsuit advert, so they actually gave me a wetsuit to try out, get some feedback on before they went to production. Their advert called out all of these brands because they're the new kids on the block for wetsuits. And I was like, bloody hell, like these guys invented wetsuits and you're calling them out and they're miles down the road, and my feedback was your suit doesn't work fundamentally. These are a younger wetsuit company as well, so this is a bit of consideration. Durability.
It leaked. I started getting leaks.
I actually gave mine away before I could really test durability.
Almost within the first 2 weeks of surfing, I started to get ingress through the knees.
Hey, bear in mind their price is so good for a top of the line wetsuit. I think it's probably fair to say it's not completely terrible durability because their price is quite good.
I put it up at 7. I wouldn't put it any worse than the O'Neill and the Rip Curl.
Well, they're doing all right there then. Sustainability, pretty into it, aren't they?
Yeah, and again, they're kind of off the Patagonia one, so I'd go like 9.
9. And warmth.
9.
Now, I've heard that Snugs are the warmest suits you can get.
If I'm in a good winter wetsuit, the only thing that makes me cold is generally the flushing in it. If it's not leaking and flushing,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm warm. Like
Yeah.
I am warm. Like it's sort of.
Yes, that's so true actually. Flushing is a big, is that fit?
Yeah,
Jeez, this is really, don't listen to any of this. This is just us chatting rubbish. Look, whatever, 8, warmth, I'm going to put a 9 for all of them. There's so much you need to gain from a good wetsuit. I have found the brand that I'm sticking with, personally.
Yeah.
I will go Seaskins. They're British, which I love, but they're also really, really, really good. The flexibility isn't as good as these, but it's still really good. I'm actually going to give them 2 clear points because they're really flexible, but it's still good. It completely, Seaskins flexibility is absolutely fine for, and I know I'm not a high performing surfer, but it's for high, you could be the best surfer in the UK and not have a problem with the flexibility of Seaskin. So it's definitely in the excellent range. And Snug, it suffers slightly because it's got really good durability and warmth as well. It's not quite on par with these, but I do think it's better than Patagonia. Yeah, I think that's fair. So we filled the board up. Well, Seaskins have obviously won, haven't they? Could anyone argue that? I mean, my maths is shaping maths. 44, 46.5. What did you get?
53.5.
Yeah, 45. Wow, that's interesting. So if you're trying to get a broad, middle of the road kind of thing, where you want a little bit of everything mixed in, Seaskins, number 1. Snug or custom wetsuits is number 2. O'Neill, the original wetsuit maker, is number 3. Rip Curl, number 4. Interesting. Finisterre, Patagonia, they're going to be stoked with that, aren't they? Number 5, and Patagonia, number 6. Obviously, there are other wetsuit brands out there. Like I say, Joan doesn't care about a lot of this stuff, so O'Neill is the most flexible. It's super warm, so that's kind of all a high-performing surfer needs. Price is important, yeah. So if you don't care about price and all you care about performance, Rip Curl and O'Neill are your leading brands. If you're looking for a wetsuit for a really good price, a couple of tips that I'd give is buy a winter suit at the end of winter for next year, because they're all on sale. So you'll get top of the range last year's suits really cheap. Look at these brands who focus on their product over their marketing. So people like Need Essentials, Surface, Vissla. These guys have got lower prices for their high-end wetsuits. Finisterre. My kids, so Jackson, who's surfs more than me and is dead set on becoming a professional surfer, that is kind of all he thinks about and talks about. He's on Seaskins. And then Axel, who's kind of a bit more fair weather, sort of gets in when it's nice, and he's got a Rip Curl suit because of the flexibility. But I felt it when we went to Seaskins to pick up the wetsuits. The owner met us, took us round, showed us the offices, what they do, took us to the designer. It was nice, man. It was so nice. Like, it was just, they were proud of their products. Yeah. How do we conclude our first ever review video? Let us know your feedback. Do you like this sort of style review? It's kind of not salesy, which I think is key. And we are legit out here. you know, surfing, trying all this stuff. So I feel like we've got a leg to stand on doing reviews for surf products, but let us know in the comments. Basically, our board is actually quite good to go on. So if you pick what's important to you, here's what we think about these brands. There are other brands available, of course, but this is where we've got the most knowledge. And use this as a guide. It's a little bit like how my mum buys wine, how you should buy wetsuits. She says, go in there with your budget. The wine is shelved in price, so you go along that shelf and she picks the highest alcohol content. So I am going to magically change into my wetsuit. Nah, it don't work. That's a nightmare.